On our website, you can get PDF learning materials for free. Please visit englist.me.
Medicinal.
Of or relating to the treatment or cure of disease.
Examples:
Medicinal chemistry. Traditional medicinal. The medicinal properties of this herb have been known to help with various ailments.
Encounter.
To face something, particularly something unpleasant or difficult, while attempting to do something else, to meet, especially unexpectedly.
Examples:
Encounter a crisis. Encounter a storm. I'm prepared to encounter challenges throughout this adventure.
Medical.
Relating to the treatment of illness or injuries, relating to the practice of medicine.
Examples:
A medical opinion. Temporary medical treatment. The medical team worked quickly to save the patient's life.
Diagnose.
To determine or distinguish the nature of a problem or an illness through a careful analysis.
Examples:
Diagnose the problem. Diagnose with CT scans. This device is used to diagnose brain cancer and other tumors.
Chart.
A visual display of information such as a diagram, lists of figures, etc., a map designed to assist navigation by air or sea.
Examples:
A weather chart. A statistical chart. This pie chart represents our market share.
Injury.
Harm done to a person's or an animal's body caused by an accident or an attack.
Examples:
Without injury. A fatal injury. My accidental injury got better right away.
Surgery.
Medical treatment of injuries or diseases involving an incision with instruments and often removing or replacing some parts of the body, the branch of medical science that treats disease or injury by operative procedures.
Examples:
Cardiac surgery. The professor of surgery. He had undergone heart surgery years before.
Spacecraft.
A vehicle designed to travel through space, typically carrying astronauts or scientific instruments.
Examples:
Spacecraft launch. Alien spacecraft. The human crewed spacecraft successfully landed on the moon, fulfilling its mission.
Stab.
To cause harm with a sharp, pointed object, such as a knife.
Examples:
Stab at the enemy with a knife. Stab in the chest. He was stabbed many times with scissors.
Crochet.
A type of needlework or fabric making that involves creating loops of thread or yarn with a hooked needle, an item or piece of clothing made using this technique.
Examples:
Crochet pattern. Crochet kit. She passed the time on the plane by doing some crochet work.
Extreme.
Very great in amount or degree.
Examples:
Extreme sports. Extreme weather events. Solar gravity creates extreme pressures and temperatures.
In-law.
A relative by marriage, such as a mother-in-law, brother-in-law, or sister-in-law.
Examples:
Future in-law. Meeting in-laws. My sister-in-law is a pediatrician who works in a children's hospital.
Jet.
A type of aircraft that is powered by one or more jet engines and can fly at high speeds, typically over long distances.
Examples:
Private jet. Commercial jet. The jet flew over the ocean at high speed, reaching its destination in hours.
Engine.
A machine that converts thermal energy to mechanical work, something that has an important role used to achieve a purpose.
Examples:
A steam engine. An air-cooled engine. The policies he announces can be the engine of economic growth in the country.
Subsequent.
Happening or occurring later or after something else.
Examples:
Over subsequent months. Reduce subsequent mortality. In the subsequent meeting, the team discussed ways to improve productivity.
Cardiovascular.
Of or relating to the heart and blood vessels, equals tubes that carry blood around the body.
Examples:
Cardiovascular diseases. Cardiovascular tissue. Smoking places you at severe risk of cardiovascular and respiratory disease.
Incredible.
Unbelievable, extremely large.
Examples:
Incredible amount. At incredible speed. Her response revealed incredible idiocy.
Importance.
The quality of being important and worthy of note.
Examples:
A man of importance. High importance. I stopped by the branch though I have no business of importance.
Urgent.
Requiring immediate attention or action, pressing.
Examples:
An urgent telegram. Urgent situation. It is urgent that we leave for the airport now to catch our flight.
Unmet.
Describing a need, goal, or expectation that has not been satisfied or fulfilled.
Examples:
Unmet demand. Unmet needs. The unmet expectations of the customers led to a decrease in sales.
Therapy.
The act of caring for someone through medication, remedial training, etc.
Examples:
Therapy for a patient. Field of gene therapy. I underwent aversion therapy for my addiction to alcohol.
Biology.
The scientific study of life and the natural processes of living things.
Examples:
Evolutionary biology. Cell and molecular biology. In junior high school, we had to dissect a frog in biology class.
Propose.
To make a proposal, declare a plan for something.
Examples:
Propose the amendment. Propose changes. I want to propose a toast in honor of our long-standing relationship.
Hypothesis.
A proposed idea or explanation that is based on a few known facts, but has not yet been proven to be true or accurate.
Examples:
Test my hypothesis. A bold hypothesis. This evidence supports the Big Bang hypothesis.
Argument.
A set of statements or reasons used to support or refute a proposition or theory, a verbal or physical fight or dispute.
Examples:
A blazing argument. The argument against capital punishment. The argument between the two sides over the proposed policy was heated.
Cigarette.
A small cylindrical roll of finely cut tobacco leaves wrapped in paper for smoking.
Examples:
A mild cigarette. A cigarette case. He lit a cigarette and leaned against the wall.
Colon.
The punctuation mark, used to introduce a list, summary, explanation, etc., or before reporting what someone has said, a significant part of the large intestine, the final section of the digestive system.
Examples:
Colon examination. The colon at the end of the sentence. Consumption of vegetables may aid in the prevention of colon cancer.
Overlap.
To partially cover something by going beyond its edge.
Examples:
Overlap one another. Overlap in many areas. There was no overlap between their proposals.
Genetically.
In a way that relates to or is produced by genes, equals the units in the cells of a living thing received by an animal or plant from its parents, or heredity.
Examples:
Genetically inherited traits. Genetically manipulated plant. The genetically modified crops were resistant to pests and required less water.
Gene.
The fundamental unit of heredity and the sequence of nucleotides in DNA that codes for the creation of RNA or protein.
Examples:
Gene expression. Gene cloning. A defective gene is responsible for the disease.
Mutation.
The way in which genes of a person, plant, animal, or other organism change and produce permanent differences.
Examples:
mutation of DNA, hereditary mutation. Radiation often promotes genetic mutations in plants and animals.
Breast.
Either of the two round soft parts of a woman's chest which secrete milk after childbirth.
Examples:
breast cancer, the mountain's breast. He grilled the breast meat of a chicken.
Discovery.
The act or process of finding information, a place, or an object, or learning about something that was previously not known.
Examples:
a scientific discovery, the great discovery of the century. Her research team made an important discovery.
Genome.
The complete set or sequence of genes of a human, animal, plant, or other living things.
Examples:
sequencing of the human genome, genome analyses. The human genome contains approximately 3 billion chemical base pairs.
Scan.
To examine something hastily, with the eyes or with a machine, to get information.
Examples:
scan the face of a man. Scan a document into PDF. She stood on the podium and scanned an audience.
Hotspot.
A place or area, typically a location or region, that is known for having an unusually high number of a particular phenomenon, such as disease, activity, or popularity.
Examples:
COVID-19 hotspot, geographic hotspot. The airport is a hotspot for tourists and travelers from around the world.
Locate.
To specify or determine the exact position of someone or something.
Examples:
locate a missing pet. Locate a tumor. The robot can accurately locate construction material.
Chromosome.
A long and string-like DNA molecule containing the part or all of the genetic material of an organism that controls what an animal or plant is like.
Examples:
a sex chromosome. The end of chromosome. Human females normally have 2 X chromosomes.
Dot.
A very small circular mark, especially one that is printed.
Examples:
connecting the dots. Dot blot method. The wallpaper had a pattern of pink dots on a white surface.
Shock.
A strong feeling or physical reaction to a sudden and unexpected event or experience, especially something unpleasant.
Examples:
death from shock. shock resistant. He got an electric shock at work.
Genetic.
Of or relating to genes, equals parts of the DNA in cells, or the science of genes.
Examples:
have genetic testing, a genetic disorder. Understanding protein folding is a vital step in deciphering the genetic code.
Locus.
A central or focal point, a place where something happens or is centered around.
Examples:
locus of control, genetic locus. The locus of the problem was found to be in the software code, which needed to be fixed before launch.
Cholesterol.
A type of fat that is found in the blood and cells of the body, and that is important for many bodily functions, but can also contribute to heart disease and stroke when levels are too high.
Examples:
cholesterol levels, low cholesterol. High levels of cholesterol can increase the risk of heart disease.
Diabetes.
A medical condition in which the body cannot produce enough insulin to control the glucose levels in the blood.
Examples:
juvenile diabetes, diabetes patient. My father was tested for diabetes.
Melanoma.
A type of skin cancer that originates in the cells that produce pigment, usually occurring on sun-exposed skin areas.
Examples:
melanoma diagnosis, melanoma treatment. Protecting your skin from the sun by wearing sunscreen and protective clothing can help reduce the risk of melanoma.
Brain.
The organ inside the head that is responsible for one's movement, thought, memory, and feeling.
Examples:
basic brain function, permanent brain damage. X-rays revealed a small tumor in his brain.
Lung.
Either of the two organs in the chest that people and some animals use for breathing.
Examples:
lung capacity, do lung transplantation. He has terminal lung cancer.
Tradition.
A belief, custom, or way of doing something that has been passed down from generation to generation within a group or society.
Examples:
a tradition of a culture. Against tradition. It is a tradition in many families to have a big Thanksgiving dinner with all their relatives.
Cardiac.
Of or relating to the heart or heart disease.
Examples:
cardiac arrest, cardiac disease. The cardiac output of a resting adult is around 3 quarts per minute.
Genetics.
The branch of biology that studies genes, genetic variation, and heredity in organisms.
Examples:
The science of genetics. Genetics discrimination. He is a specialist in the genetics of aging.
Observation.
The act or activity of carefully examining or monitoring something or someone.
Examples.
Class observation day. Observation instrument. In the hospital, she will remain under constant observation.
Microscope.
An instrument used to see objects or substances that are too small to be seen with the naked eye.
Examples.
Microscope slide. Electron microscope. I used an optical microscope to observe the small organisms in the water sample.
Divide.
To separate or cause to separate into parts or groups.
Examples.
Divide the cake into 2 pieces. Divide money equally. Can you divide 123,321 by 11?
Tumor.
A mass of diseased tissue that forms when cells in the body divide and grow in an uncontrolled way.
Examples.
Tumor growth. Tumor at remote sites. The patient was diagnosed with a tumor in her lung.
Build up.
The accumulation or increase of something over time.
Examples.
Lactic acid buildup. Huge military buildup. The buildup of stress over time can lead to health problems.
Ultimate.
Furthest or highest in degree or order.
Examples.
The ultimate goal in life. The ultimate luxury. Management must take ultimate responsibility for the accident.
Artery.
One of the thick tubes in humans and most other animals that takes blood away from the heart to one or more parts of the body such as tissues, lungs, brain, etc.
Examples.
Artery blockage. Risk of coronary artery disease. Continuous consumption of fatty foods leads to the hardening of the artery.
Stroke.
A medical condition in which poor blood flow to the brain causes cell death, the act of swinging or striking at a ball with a club, racket, etc.
Examples.
Suffer stroke. A stroke of the putter. This year's extreme heat has resulted in many heat stroke cases.
Critic.
Someone who expresses opinions about the quality of books, music, etc.
Examples.
Art critic. Severe critic. Advocates for legal reform hear less harsh words from their critics.
Modern.
Of or belonging to the present time or recent times.
Examples.
Modern poetry. Pre-modern agricultural society. Their headquarters are in a modern skyscraper.
Dominate.
To have or control a lot of power and influence over somebody or something.
Examples:
Dominate possession. Dominate over the weak. The perspective of his right brain dominates his consciousness.
Influx.
The arrival or entry of a large number of people, objects, or ideas into a place or system.
Examples:
Influx of capital. Influx of tourists. The influx of immigrants into urban areas can create significant social, economic, and political challenges for local communities.
Inflame.
To cause very strong feelings such as anger or excitement in a person or a group of people.
Examples:
Inflame skin. Inflame his passion. Her eyes inflamed with crying.
Immune.
Protected against a particular disease or toxin due to the presence of specific antibodies or sensitized white blood cells.
Examples:
Immune from criminal prosecution. The cell of the immune system. The vaccination does not necessarily make you completely immune.
Abnormal.
Not typical, usual, or regular, especially in a way that is bad.
Examples:
Abnormal heart rhythms. Abnormal cells. An abnormal climate in the region caused a sharp decline in grain harvest.
Vessel.
A ship or large boat.
Examples:
Blood vessels. Naval vessels. The vessel arrived in port the following day.
Stem.
The central part of something from which other parts can develop or grow, the part of a word common to all its inflected variants. Verb, to grow out of, have roots in, or originate in.
Examples:
Stem from a belief. The stem of a matchstick. A rose has thorns on its stem.
Clinical.
Of or relating to the examination and treatment of patients rather than theoretical or laboratory studies.
Examples:
Clinical surgery. Participate in clinical trials. She received special clinical training at the hospital.
Investigator.
A person whose job is to conduct an investigation or inquiry into something, often to gather information or evidence.
Examples:
Private investigator. Clinical investigator. The forensic investigator collected DNA samples from the crime scene to identify the perpetrator.
Individual.
A single person or thing, as distinct from a group.
Examples:
A private individual. Individual freedom. As an individual, He had the right to make his own decisions and live his life as he saw fit.
Congest.
To make something blocked or crowded so as to hinder or prevent freedom of movement or flow of liquid.
Examples:
Congest in a vein. Congest a highway. The roads to the airport were heavily congested.
Principle.
A fundamental law or truth that explains or controls how something happens or works.
Examples:
Principle of treatment. Principle in business. Efficiency isn't an essential principle here, fairness is.
Association.
A people or groups of people who have joined in a single organization together for a particular purpose, a social or business connection or relationship.
Examples:
Word associations. A scholarship association. His membership in the association provided him with numerous benefits.
Causation.
The action or relationship between an event or action and its effect or consequence, the explanation for why something happens.
Examples:
Causation analysis. Direct causation. The causation of the disease is still under investigation by medical researchers.
Experiment.
The scientific test conducted to observe what happens and gain new knowledge.
Examples:
Experiment design. Series of experiments. His experiments showed highly positive results.
Intentionally.
In a planned or intended way.
Examples:
She hit him intentionally. She intentionally spread misleading information. She would never intentionally hurt anyone.
Vice.
Wrongdoing or wicked behavior, in the form of vice versa, with the order reversed. As a prefix, someone with a job immediately below a particular person.
Examples:
Virtue and vice. Vice chair of the committee. Cats hate dogs and vice versa.
Obvious.
Easy to see, discover, or understand.
Examples:
Obvious reasons. His conclusion was obvious. There are obvious differences between the two wine-producing regions.
Ethical.
Of or relating to principles about what is right and wrong, or the branch of knowledge dealing with these.
Examples:
An ethical doctrine. Shoulder ethical responsibility. The president must have the highest ethical standards.
Laboratory.
A workplace for doing scientific research or teaching science, a lab.
Examples:
Laboratory accident. Anthropology laboratory. Animal protection groups call for an end to animal testing in a laboratory.
Implant.
To insert or fix an artificial device in a person's body, to put an idea, attitude, etc., firmly in the mind.
Examples:
Implant genes in the animals. Implant into the uterus. The doctor will implant a pacemaker to regulate his heart rate.
Underneath.
Under or below something else.
Examples:
Underneath the surface of the water. Underneath the laughter. The penny fell underneath the piano.
Fascinating.
Extremely interesting.
Examples:
Fascinating story. Completely fascinating to me. The museum houses a fascinating collection of Celtic artifacts.
Confirm.
To support or establish the truth or certainty of something previously believed or suspected to be the case.
Examples:
Confirm the diagnosis. Confirm a transaction. Please write to confirm your reservation.
Presence.
The fact or state that someone or something exists, occurs, or is present.
Examples:
The evidence of the presence. His majestic presence. The path to a solid online presence necessitates a high technical ability.
Sufficient.
Adequate, enough for a particular purpose or requirement.
Examples:
Sufficient time. Self-sufficient economy. That candidate does not have sufficient means to win an election with certainty.
Accelerate.
To make something faster or earlier, to cause to develop or progress more quickly.
Examples:
Accelerate a chemical reaction. Accelerate the car. The government tried to accelerate the commercialization of this development.
Volunteer.
A person who performs or offers to perform a job or service without being paid for or forced to do.
Examples:
Seek volunteers. My volunteer work. The teachers make full use of volunteer assistance.
Straightforward.
Easy to do or understand, or simple, free from ambiguity.
Examples:
Straightforward manner. Make a straightforward dash. The defendant gave a straightforward and accurate description of the accident.
Diet.
The food and drink that a person, animal, or community eats and drinks regularly, a legislative assembly in certain countries, for example, Japan.
Examples:
Eat a vegetarian diet. Diet approval. A balanced diet is more important for health than supplements.
Addition.
The act or process of adding something to something else, the process of adding numbers.
Examples:
Chemical addition. Addition of vectors. In addition, private corporations provide healthcare services.
Optimal.
The best, most likely to be successful or advantageous.
Examples:
Achieve optimal health. Optimal for intellectual growth. Wild animals need to go forward with the optimal action to survive.
Malignant.
Having an evil or harmful nature or effect, cancerous, tending to invade or spread rapidly.
Examples:
Malignant tumor. Malignant growth. The doctors found malignant cells in the patient's biopsy, indicating a severe illness.
Encourage.
To give someone support, confidence, or hope, to persuade someone to do or continue to do something by making it easier for them and making them believe it is a good thing to do.
Examples:
Encourage a sense of affinity. Encourage antisocial behavior. They encouraged customers with a premium for loyal patronage.
Magic.
Beliefs and actions employed to influence supernatural beings and forces, any art or performance that invokes supernatural powers.
Examples:
A magic spell. She is magic. He performed magic tricks with sophisticated moves.
Wand.
A slender rod or stick, especially one used for magic or divination. A rod or staff carried by certain officials as a symbol of authority.
Examples:
Handheld wand. Security wand. The magician waved his magic wand, and a rabbit appeared from the hat.
Unbiased.
Free from prejudice or favoritism, fair and impartial in judgment and decision-making.
Examples:
Unbiased opinion. Unbiased review. The judge has a reputation for being fair and unbiased in his rulings.
Biopsy.
The process of removing and examining tissue from the body of the sick person to determine the existence or cause of a disease.
Examples:
Biopsy of bone marrow. Liquid biopsy. The doctor performed an excisional breast biopsy.
Plot.
A secret plan or scheme to achieve a specific goal. The plan or main story of a literary work. Verb, to plan secretly, usually something illegal.
Examples:
Plot line. Plot a surprise attack. The plot of the novel centers around a group of friends who uncover a conspiracy to control the world's water supply.
Represent.
To speak, act, or be present on behalf of another person or group, to form or constitute.
Examples:
Represent by a diagram. The characters that represent numbers. We elected him to represent us at the international conference.
Acquire.
To buy or obtain something such as an asset, object, knowledge, etc., for oneself.
Examples.
Acquire knowledge. Acquire a new company. Children acquire language at a fantastic rate.
Identify.
To recognize someone or something and say or prove who or what they are.
Examples.
Identify handwriting. Identify gene sequences. I will introduce you to how to identify the leading causes of the malfunction.
Integrate.
To combine one thing with another so that they form a whole or work together. To accept equal participation for members of all races and ethnic groups.
Examples.
Integrate into the existing system. Integrate both businesses. He found that it is difficult to integrate socially.
Analyze.
To think about in depth and evaluate to discover essential features or meaning.
Examples.
Analyze a chemical compound. Analyze your real motives. The teacher attempted to analyze the root cause of our mistake.
Simultaneously.
At the same time.
Examples.
Simultaneously affected. Take several inputs simultaneously. Two students answered the teacher's question simultaneously.
Quadrant.
A quarter of a circle or sphere, or any of the four parts of an area, divided by two intersecting lines or planes.
Examples.
Northeast quadrant. Quadrant chart. The map was divided into 4 quadrants to examine the geographical region closely.
Suspect.
To consider anything to be true or probable.
Examples.
Suspect a plot. Suspect that he is sick. The cops suspected him of being the killer.
Hypothesize.
To form or present a theory or explanation without sufficient evidence, to speculate.
Examples.
Hypothesize as to outcomes. Hypothesize what could have happened. Scientists hypothesize that the new fish species evolved to survive in deep-sea environments.
Prioritize.
To assign a higher level of importance to something compared to other things.
Examples.
Prioritize tasks. Prioritize people over cars. The organization prioritized the needs of the community in its decision-making.
Underway.
Having started and currently in progress.
Examples.
Just getting underway. Campaign now underway. This project has been underway for several years.
Pathway.
A track that constitutes or serves as a path, an approach or a way of doing something.
Examples:
Pathway to understanding. Cellular signaling pathways. When the first molecule in the pathway receives a signal, it activates other molecules.
Inflammation.
A physical condition in which a part of the body becomes red, painful, hot, and often swollen, especially as a reaction to infection or injury.
Examples:
Reduce inflammation and pain. Inflammation of the lungs. The medicine soothes the pain of chronic inflammation.
Evolve.
To develop gradually, or to cause the development of something or someone gradually.
Examples:
Evolve. Evolve over the past decade. Eyeless fish evolved in dark caves.
Recover.
To return to a former condition, health, mind, or strength.
Examples:
Recover a loss. Recover approval ratings. She is still recovering from a shot to her shoulder.
Mount.
To increase, go up, or advance gradually or continuously. To prepare and supply with the necessary equipment for execution or performance. To ride on something or someone.
Examples:
Mount a hill. Mount a counterattack. They mounted pictures on the paper in preparation for the birthday card.
Infection.
A condition in which pathogenic microorganisms or viruses have entered the body.
Examples:
A bacterial infection. Treat the infection with antibiotics. Hospitals must meet various standards to prevent nosocomial infections.
Syndrome.
A group of signs and symptoms that occur together and are characteristic of a particular condition or disorder.
Examples:
Syndrome of dementia. Acute syndrome. The patient was diagnosed with a rare genetic syndrome.
Overactive.
Excessively active, showing an excess of activity or energy.
Examples:
Overactive imagination. Overactive thyroid. The medication caused an overactive immune system, resulting in adverse side effects.
Recurrent.
Occurring again, repeatedly, or frequently, returning.
Examples:
Recurrent problem. Recurrent miscarriage. The patient has been experiencing recurrent headaches for weeks.
Episode.
A happening or story that is distinctive in a series of related events, an abrupt short period during which someone suffers from the effects of a physical or mental illness.
Examples:
End of the first episode. Episode of vertigo. I want to put that episode of my life behind me.
Rash.
Any red spot of the skin caused by a disease or reaction to something. Adjective, marked by defiance and not caring about risk or consequences.
Examples:
Develop a rash. Prevent diaper rash. The strong sunlight brought her out in an itchy rash.
Neurocognitive.
Relating to the cognitive processes that govern learning, memory, perception, and attention, and to the changes in these processes associated with neurological disorders.
Examples:
Neurocognitive disorders. Neurocognitive testing. His neurocognitive abilities helped him excel in his studies.
Delay.
To cause something to happen at a later time than originally intended or expected.
Examples:
Delay a flight 3 hours. Delay the new project. We delayed the payment because of an incorrect invoice.
Triumph.
A great victory or achievement.
Examples:
Triumph of democracy. Triumph of the spirit. The team's triumph in the championship resulted from their hard work and dedication.
Pinpoint.
To locate or identify the exact position in space or time of something.
Examples:
Pinpoint the problem. Pinpoint signs of manipulation. This radar quickly pinpoints the position of the enemy.
Molecule.
A group of two or more atoms held together by attractive forces known as chemical bonds.
Examples:
Small molecules. Molecule behavior. The shape of the DNA molecule is a double helix.
Responsible.
Answerable or accountable for something within one's power, control, or management.
Examples:
Responsible action. Responsible for customer service. She's a responsible pet owner who ensures her dog gets enough exercise and a healthy diet.
Mention.
To speak or write about something or someone briefly.
Examples:
Mention name. Mention in a report. I mentioned to him that I had seen his sister at the grocery store earlier that day.
Remarkable.
Worthy of attention because unusual or special.
Examples:
Remarkable achievement. The remarkable breadth of knowledge. The election was a remarkable success for the Whigs.
Improve.
To make or become better.
Examples:
Improve a process. Improve the test score. We want to improve ties between our two countries.
Norm.
Something that is regarded as usual, typical, or standard.
Examples:
Norm of action. Cultural norm. The systems we have developed has accepted as industry norms.
Relevance.
The state or degree of being closely connected or appropriate to the matter at hand.
Examples:
Have no relevance. Relevance category. The relevance of this information to the current situation needs to be investigated.
Cardiologist.
A medical doctor who specializes in the study and treatment of the heart and the circulatory system.
Examples:
Cardiologist appointment. Skilled cardiologist. My grandfather is seeing a cardiologist to monitor his heart condition.
Convince.
To persuade someone or make someone believe that something is true.
Examples:
Convince her to go with us. Convince an opponent. I am considering what I should do to convince him.
Placebo.
Harmless substance, especially given as a pacifier or to the control group in experiments on the efficacy of a drug.
Examples:
Placebo therapy. Patient in the placebo group. A double-blind procedure is used to guard against experimenter bias and placebo effects.
Algorithm.
A set of rules or rigorous instructions typically used to solve a specific problem or to perform a computation.
Examples:
The RSA algorithm. Algorithm for image processing. We can evaluate the performance of an algorithm in terms of computation time.
Predict.
To state beforehand that something will happen in the future, mainly based on knowledge or experience.
Examples:
Predict the future. Predict when she will arrive. It's notoriously challenging to predict birth rates.
Blind.
Unable to see, unable or unwilling to perceive or understand the true nature of something.
Examples:
Blind to the beauties. Blind spot. She was nearly blind due to severe diabetes.
Pivot.
A change in direction or focus, especially in a business or political strategy. A fixed point that supports something that turns or balances.
Examples:
Center pivot irrigation. Pivot point. The team needed to come up with a pivot strategy to turn things around.
Macrophage.
A large white blood cell that helps to engulf and destroy foreign objects or materials in the body, such as bacteria or cancer cells.
Examples:
Macrophage activity. Macrophage dysfunction. Cancer cells can evade the immune system's detection by avoiding interactions with macrophages.
Patrol.
The act of guarding an area or conducting surveillance of an area to maintain order, perform security functions, or prevent crime, a group of officers or soldiers that conducts such an operation.
Examples:
Patrol car, border patrol. The highway patrol officer pulled over the speeding vehicle on the freeway.
Sentinel.
A person or thing that stands guard or keeps watch, a soldier or guard who stands watch to provide security.
Examples:
Sentinel duty, sentinel lymph node. The security camera acted as a sentinel, monitoring the area for suspicious activity.
Invade.
To enter aggressively into another's territory by military force for conquest and occupation.
Examples:
Invade other tissues. Invade his privacy. I have no intention to invade your privacy.
Bacteria.
Single-celled or non-cellular spherical or spiral or rod-shaped organisms that exist in large numbers in the air, water, and soil, and also in living and dead creatures and plants, and are often a cause of disease.
Examples:
Pathogenic bacteria. Harmless bacteria. Bacteria prevalent in hospitals are often resistant to antibiotics.
Expand.
To increase or to make something greater in size, number, or importance.
Examples:
Expand a lineup. Expand agricultural output. They hope to expand their business worldwide.
Oncology.
The branch of medicine that deals with the study and treatment of tumors, especially malignancies.
Examples:
Oncology center. Modern oncology treatment. The pharmaceutical company unveiled its latest breakthrough drug for the oncology market.
Rid.
To make someone or something free of unwanted or unpleasant tasks, objects, or person.
Examples:
Get rid of the rats. Rid the body of waste products. We must rid ourselves of pollution.
Metastasize.
Of a cancerous tumor or disease, to spread or grow to other parts of the body from its original location.
Examples:
Metastasize to the liver. Metastasize from breast cancer. Cancer cells can metastasize and spread to other body parts if left untreated.
Appetite.
A natural desire or craving for food or drink, a strong desire or liking for something.
Examples:
Appetite suppression. Loss of appetite. After a long hike, I had a huge appetite and devoured my meal in minutes.
Unclear.
Poorly stated or described, and therefore not easy to understand, not easy to perceive.
Examples:
An unclear match. In no unclear terms. It is important not to undertake tasks with unclear objectives to improve productivity.
Metastatic.
Used to describe cancer cells that have spread from the primary site of origin to other parts of the body through the bloodstream or lymphatic system.
Examples:
Metastatic disease. Metastatic spreading. Metastatic cancer has spread from its original site to other body parts.
Lymphoma.
A type of cancer that affects the body's lymphatic system, which is responsible for fighting infection and disease.
Examples:
Non-Hodgkin lymphoma. Childhood lymphoma. My aunt was diagnosed with lymphoma and is undergoing chemotherapy.
Melt.
To turn from something solid into something soft or liquid as a result of heating.
Examples:
Melt the ice. Melt down gold. Her resistance melted under his persuasion.
Retrospective.
Looking back on or dealing with past events or situations, particularly those that are considered important or influential. An exhibition or showing of a particular artist's work, covering an extended period of time.
Examples:
Retrospective review. Retrospective study. The retrospective exhibition featured some of the artist's earliest works.
Arrow.
A thin, pointed projectile designed to be shot from a bow, a symbol or pointer that is shaped like an arrow.
Examples:
Arrow pointing. Arrow diagram. The archer aimed his arrow carefully at the target.
Carotid.
Relating to the carotid artery, which supplies blood to the head and face.
Examples:
Carotid disease. Carotid stenosis. The doctor examined my carotid artery to check for any blockages or abnormalities.
Dual.
Having two parts, aspects, or elements.
Examples:
Dual purpose. Dual nationality. This laptop has a dual-core processor, making it fast and efficient.
Settle.
To reach an agreement of disagreement.
Examples:
Settle a dispute. Settle down in the town. I don't want to settle for second best.
Dogma.
A belief or set of beliefs that the members of a group accept without being questioned or doubted.
Examples:
Religious dogma. The secret dogma. All members strictly followed the dogma of the organization.
Silo.
A tall, cylindrical structure, usually made of concrete or steel, that is used for storing grain, feed, or other dry materials, a system or structure that is isolated or separate from others.
Examples:
Nuclear silo, silo organization. The farmer used a silo to store feed for the animals.
Powerless.
Lacking power, strength, or authority, unable to act or effect change.
Examples:
Powerless position, powerless in the organization. During the hurricane, we felt powerless against the winds and rain.